What's going on, guys? This is Alec from Blackhouse Vapor Company coming at you with another review. This time we are reviewing this guy right here, your Profile RTA. Let's get straight into it, and I'll tell you a little bit about the Profile RTA. So let's get started.
Are you listening? Damn.
All right, I'm going to start off with what's in the box. So let's go down below, and I will open this guy up for you, show you everything that comes inside the box, tell you a little bit about the design of the RTA, and then we're going to show you how to build it really quickly. Because it is a mesh RTA, it's a little bit out of some people's comfort zones. It's a little bit different than what some people have dealt with before. So I want to make sure that everyone feels at the end of this video like they're comfortable with purchasing this device if it seems like it's something for you, and that you feel like you could totally put it together as soon as you got it and start vaping it on immediately. Because honestly, you're going to be pleasantly surprised with how fantastic the flavor and the vapor production off of this mesh RTA is. I've had a fantastic experience, and I can't wait to tell you about it. First, let's go down. Let's actually see what's in the box, and then we'll continue from there. All right, let's start off with what comes in the package here. So we've got the Profile RTA. This one is the gold edition, which I think is pretty cool. Has like a gold flake 810 drip tip on it, which is pretty cool. On the side, we've got what the kit contains. Got the Unity RTA. We have a user's manual, Japanese cotton, 2 pieces of Next Mesh, which is quite nice. The glass tube adapter, which turns it from a 3.5 into a 5 milliliter. Let's see, extra screws, a little tool for bending the mesh, which is actually pretty nice that they included that, although I'm sure you could just do it with a screwdriver. But it does also come with a screwdriver, extra O-rings. And didn't they say extension glass somewhere else? Glass tube adapter. Oh, okay. So that's the adapter to actually use the larger tube, and then they've got the extension glass. So that's what that means. On the side, we've got Wotofo, and then we've got the Profile Unity, and then on this side we just have Golden and obviously our UPCs. So on the back, so many different people put into this. So we've got Wotofo, we've got TVC. We've got Mr. Just Right. Is that what it is? Yeah, Mr. Just Right, and we've got OFRF. So it seems like a little bit overwhelming in terms of the amount of people that they put the brands for those people or those brands on the box. Seems a little bit much to me, but hey, got to thank every one of them because this thing's pretty sweet. So let's get it opened up. And I kind of ruined the surprise by reading the side there where it shows you everything that comes inside the box, but we've got the actual RTA itself, which I'm going to put to the side for now. This thing it's big, it's beefy, it's got some weight to it, but we'll put that to the side for now. We've got, I'm assuming this is just extra cardboard that they forgot to get out of there during the packaging process. We've got our little bag with this one right here is going to be your bender, and then you've got your screwdriver. We've got cotton here that comes with it. We have extra O-rings and your little extension tube to use that extension glass. We have a user's manual, which is not thin, but not huge. We're not going to go through this. I'm going to show you in person how to do all that. And we've got our mesh pieces, which actually really, really high quality A1 mesh. I've tested it myself, and I got to say, flavor off of this, great. Quality control, great. This mesh actually lives up to expectations. So awesome, really nice. So that's everything that comes in the box. Let's bring it back up. I'll talk a little bit about the device, and then we'll go back down and I'll show you how to build it. All right, before we go down and build this guy, let's just go over the design itself. I really quite like the design of the Profile RTA. It is a little bit tall, but in terms of RTAs, that's kind of what you're gonna get. They're just generally a little bit taller. Let's start just from the top and we'll go down. 810 drip tip, awesome. Love that it doesn't taper to a 510. You know, with these big drip tips, a lot of times you'll get companies that just taper them down to a 510, and then it's like what's the point? That you're not getting the extra capacity, you're not getting the extra volume of vapor coming through there. It's the same size as a smaller drip tip, but this one is actual 810, which is very nice. Let's talk about the fill ports. Fill ports themselves are really awesome. I love the design of the fill cap itself. It doesn't thread on, it's just got two little notches, and it's just a half turn and you're there, which is awesome. And two very large fill ports. Let's see if we can get those in there. Two very large fill ports, so you shouldn't have any sort of bubbling or gurgling issues. No juice spilling over the side of your tank there. 3.5 milliliter capacity on this guy standard, and then you can extend it with the glass extension piece, which is going to make it just a wee bit taller. A little, like I said, it's already tall, and then with that 5 mil glass, it's a little too tall for me, so I usually rock it in just the 3.5, which is plenty of juice for this device. But that is an option. You can expand it to a 5 mil, which is really cool. Airflow is awesome on this guy as well. We've got some decent airflow there, if you can see, and then we'll spin it, and it's a nice smooth glide all the way closed, all the way open. It's got a stopper on both ends, so it doesn't spin all the way around, which I also like. I like that they thought about all these little intricacies. Like, I don't know why an airflow ring needs to spin all the way around when you could just stop it at open and close, and that's the end of that. So in terms of the deck itself, it's a deck that's meant for mesh, obviously. So it just has two clamps on either side that use Phillips that are side mounted, and then it's got this little interesting ceramic piece in the middle that's spring loaded that helps bring your cotton up to the top of the mesh and really push it into the mesh, which is, if anyone has used mesh before, you know that's generally the most annoying part of the entire operation. Is the mesh will get hot spots because your cotton is not fully pushed up into the mesh. This guy takes care of that problem with that little spring-loaded ceramic piece that keeps everything placed together nicely. So that's quite nice. The threading on all of this, the machining on all the threads is quite nice. I would say for the price, you're getting just about the best quality machining you could possibly ask for. It's not super high-end quality machining, but it's absolutely stellar for the price of the device. I can't complain about it whatsoever. So that's really all I've got to say about the design of the device itself. Can't think of anything else, so let's just go down. We'll build it really quickly so that you guys feel comfortable doing that, and then we'll bring it back up. I'll talk a little bit more about the flavor of the device and the vapor production of the device, and just generally how I feel about the device, give me my conclusive thoughts, and then we'll call this video done. All right, let's get to building this guy. So what you're gonna wanna do is separate the base from the top part of the device. Once you have done that, you'll see we've got our two Phillips head screws side mounted on here. We've got the clamps, we've got the little insulator piece in the middle that helps push that cotton up. And if you've never built a mesh device, don't be afraid. This is super simple. So it's gonna be really easy, really quick, no problems whatsoever. So what we're gonna need for this, the tools that came in there, the little bender piece and the screwdriver that came in the package. We're gonna need the mesh that came in the package, which you can also buy separately, and they're nice enough to even include some cotton in there as well, so you're gonna need this cotton as well. But that's all you're gonna need. You don't even need to snip any ends of coils or anything like that. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, so let's get to it. So the first thing we're gonna do is open up our mesh. Don't need both, we just need one. And what we're gonna do, you can see there's these ends, these end pieces right here, and then that's where the mesh actually starts, just a fingernail width away from the edge of the entire piece. We're gonna need to put these end pieces, these solid metal end pieces, into the clamps on the deck, and then we will be rocking and rolling. So let's start with just unscrewing one of these guys. So I'm gonna unscrew one of these clamps. I'm gonna open it up, which the easiest way I found to do that is just literally kind of angle it to the side and it'll just open right up. They're not spring loaded, so if I could say one bad thing about the deck, it's that these clamps aren't spring loaded. Sometimes if you're working on it, you accidentally push it back in, it's closed, it's a little bit difficult to get this in here. So you want to just twist it to the side or just knock it to the side a little bit. We're gonna just stick this mesh right in here. You can see like that. Oh, where is it? There we go. I'm going to stick the mesh in there just like that on one side, straight up and down, and I'm going to clamp this guy down. Now you can see I've got one side of the mesh all nice and screwed down and in there. Okay, at this point my camera microphone cuts out for the next 3 minutes or so, so I'm going to narrate this post-production. But at this point, I'm just arcing that mesh towards the second clamp. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything. We just want to get it to a point where we don't have to bend it at a weird angle to get it into the clamp. So that's what I'm doing right now, just bending it towards that clamp. Once I get it close enough, I'll be able to open up that second clamp and stick it in there and screw that clamp down. So I'm going to open it up right now, do the same technique as before where I kind of tap it on the side to get that clamp to open up. Again, I really wish that these things were spring-loaded, but not a huge deal. So once I've got it in there, I'll screw it back down. Perfection isn't paramount at this moment. We're going to now, after we've got both clamps down, the big side won't work at this point of the little shaper tool, but the small side will. So we're going to take the small side at this point and just kind of rub it back and forth, putting even pressure on the coil, the mesh coil arc. And we're just going to continually press it on all sides until we get a nice even arc. We want it to be a good, nice, clean, no weird bends or kinks. We want it to be a nice clean arc all the way across, and that'll allow us to fire it without any sort of hot spots or anything like that. So once we get it just looking pretty good, we'll turn our device on. At first here I went a little bit too low. I went to about 9 or 8 watts, and that wasn't quite enough. So I ended up bumping it back up to about 13 to 15 watts after this first fire here. But what you're looking for is hot spots, and they're very noticeable on mesh coils. You'll see very, very bright spots poking out of one side, the other, little pinpoint spots. If you have any hot spots, it'll be very visible. But it looks like it's pretty good at this moment, and it really isn't too hard to shape that coil to a point where it doesn't have hot spots. Once it doesn't have hot spots, once you've confirmed that it looks pretty good, you will be ready for cotton. And I actually also forgot my scissors here, unfortunately. I was just having a bit of an off day, but I'm going to at least stick this cotton in before I run and grab the scissors. They do pre-package this cotton quite nicely, so it's easy to stick through the coil and grab the other side, although this cotton is very, very thick, so you're going to have to really squeeze on it to pull it through. Give it a little twist. I didn't give it a twist, but that does help sometimes. You just want to get it even on both sides. Alright, I'm back, and I have scissors. So what we're going to do here, first thing we're going to do is just cut it completely flush with the RTA. Now I'm straying a little bit from how they tell you to do it in the instruction manual. So if you've read the instruction manual and now you're listening to me talking about how to do it, I'll explain. The reason that we cut it flush first and then we cut an angle on it. Cutting an angle on it immediately is generally kind of difficult to do and get correct. Sometimes I'll pull the cotton through on accident and get it all skillywampus, or sometimes it'll just end up straight anyways. It'll just pull some of the fibers and not others. So I just cut it flush first, and I'll do it on this other side as well. Just gonna cut it flush. Boom. Alright, now we've cut it flush, and that's nice fluffy cotton. And now what I'm going to do, you can see that, I'm going to cut a slight angle on it. So I'm going to cut an angle so that the cotton is basically flush at the top and that I leave more on the bottom. So if you can see the way that my finger is right here, that's how we're going to cut it. We're going to cut an angle like that into this cotton so that we can easily tuck it into the chambers that it needs to be in to suck up juice. So let's see if I can get a good angle on this for you guys. I'm going to try to do this like this. We're going to bring my scissors down and just cut into this. You want to use the end of your scissors here, otherwise you're really going to struggle. But use the very, very end of your scissors, or the very, very inner part of your scissors, the sharpest and best leverage part of it. And you can see I've cut a little angle in there, and that's a bit much still, so I'm just going to kind of fluff it up a little bit and then bring it back down. And you can see I'm gonna want to take just a little bit more of this cotton off. So I'm gonna go here and just snip a little bit of that guy, like that. All right, that's looking pretty good to me. See how I did that? So we've got this side is completely done correctly. This side's a little too fluffy. So that's what you want. So I'm gonna now do the other side.
So let's see here, bring it like this. It's kind of hard to do it on and on. Just cut, and a flap, and a cut. A little bit this way, so I can get angle in there, and cut that angle like that. A little too much, but that's okay, we can recover it. We can do a little bit more on this side here. You can see how to get it more, just it's just really tough to get that cotton to actually cut correctly. You want to use the inside part of your scissors.
All right, that's looking pretty good. We've got our taper here, so you can see it's tapered nicely. And now, got all these little cotton bits everywhere. I'm gonna take the thin screwdriver that they gave me, and I'm just gonna start tucking this cotton into these little juice chambers here. So we're just gonna tuck, 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 tuck. All right, that's looking pretty good. And you'll notice here, it's not poking out of this juice receptacle here. Let's see if we can get that better. It's not poking out of there. It's just nice and flush with the metal ring all the way around, nice and flush, and that's what you want. And that's why you defluff it a little bit. That's why we cut that angle into it, is so we can get these in here nice and easily. We don't have excess cotton that we don't need. That's just gonna gunk everything up. We've got just the right amount of cotton, so we're just gonna stick it in there. All right, same thing. Nice, sitting flush with this metal. We are now completely ready for juice. We're built, and everything is looking good. Okay, we've just built the device, and now here we are. You all know how to build it. You should be comfortable doing this on your own, so if you do decide to pick up this device, you'll be good to go. In terms of my overall conclusive thoughts about the device, flavor, fantastic. Plenty of variation in the airflow, so you can get wide open airflow for nice, huge clouds. You can run these coils comfortably up to about 70, maybe even 75, 80 watts, although I'd say 70 is about the ceiling on these guys. But that's plenty of vapor production on a 0.13 ohm coil, especially a mesh coil like this. You get plenty of nice, warm vapor production and airflow all the way open. You can just chuck clouds, airflow, like even halfway closed. The flavor is just fantastic on it. So overall, I really have nothing bad to say about this device. Besides, it's a little bit tall, but like I said, that's kind of what you get when you're dealing with RTAs. You can't really avoid that too much, but overall, fantastic. I'd give it 5 stars. And it looks like a lot of people online also in that 4.5, 5-star review range. So it's doing quite well. It's flying off the shelves here at Blackhouse. So if you are interested in the device, don't forget to come on down to the shop, 2148 South, 900 East, Suite 3. And you can check it out for yourself, see if it's something for you, add it to your collection, and start chucking more clouds on this Profile Mesh RTA. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.
Damn.